Welcome back once again to howtocookgreatfood.com. If you haven't already, please click that button and subscribe to our channel. On the menu today, and as you can see there, that is straight out the oven, really hot. We're going to be making today a shepherd's pie, but a vegan version. So obviously no minced beef or anything like that underneath. There's a beautiful selection of vegetables, and I've used some chickpeas in there. And we've got our potato, and again, in our potato there's no milk, there's no butter. What I have done is I've mixed some fresh parsley, black pepper and some sweet corn in there. Gives it a lovely little flavour. It's really quite simple. You can go lots of different ways with it in styles of flavour. Let's go and do it. Okay, let's get started. We're going to start obviously with our potatoes. Let's get our mashed potato done. As you can see, I've got some potatoes in there that I've chopped up into kind of, this kind of size pieces. You can make them smaller if you want. Going to add a little bit of salt there. Now I've peeled my potatoes, but you don't have to. You can leave the skins on if you want. I mean, they're fine. If your potatoes are nice looking, you can leave that skin on there. So let's get these to a boil, and then we're going to cook them until they're very, very soft. So I'd imagine once it boils, about another 8 minutes. Okay, off goes the heat. Let's have a look at these. Lovely, they're really good. If you put your knife in like that and it falls off, it means they're done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to drain them off. Now just retain just a little bit of the water, just a tiny amount. Okay, so I've drained off our potatoes, and like I say, I've just retained a little bit of the water. Now the reason I'm keeping some of that water is we're keeping our shepherd's pie vegan today. So normally what would happen, traditionally you'd add a touch of milk, butter to this to kind of get it nice and creamy. What we're going to do, potato masher, we're going to give this a big mash first of all for a couple of minutes, then we're going to see how it looks. If it needs a little bit of liquid, we'll add a little bit of the potato water. There you go, that's nicely mashed now, but yeah, just a little bit dry I think, so I'm just going to add just a little splash here and there of that. That'll make a big difference. Just gives it that little extra bit of moisture that we need. Now I am going to add now a little bit of black pepper. Now that's ready to go if you want to use it like that. I am today going to add, just makes it, makes it a little bit more interesting. I've got some sweet corn there, a can or a tin of sweet corn, and here I've got some parsley, a fresh parsley. Again, you know what I'm like with fresh herbs. I love them. So mint, cilantro, any fresh herb in here would be delicious. And like I say, this just kind of livens it up a little bit. Makes it slightly more interesting. And there we go, our potato is ready. Okay, let's get on with our filling. So I've got a pot here, or a pan, got a touch of oil in there. I'm using a sunflower oil, go for any oil you like guys. I'm going to start this off with some chopped onions. And some roughly chopped garlic. I like plenty of garlic in this one. While we're here, let's just add a little bit of seasoning. So we've got a little bit of salt, some black pepper, and today I'm going to be using some sage, some dried sage. That's a lovely herb that's not used that much. I don't use it that much really, but go ahead and use, if you want, oregano, basil, rosemary, tarragon. They'll all give it a lovely kind of flavour. Just fancied a little bit of sage in this one today. So now we've got our herb in, seasoning, onions and the garlic. The amount of vegetables that you put in there, or the types of vegetables, is entirely up to you. Today I'm going to be using eggplant, carrots, bell peppers, and I'm going to use some chickpeas, but you can throw anything you like in this. So let's start off by putting our hardest vegetables in. In my case it's carrot. And again, cut all quite small, everything's been cut small. And I'm going to put my eggplant in, or aubergine. So celery, parsnips, beets, mushrooms, sweet corn, zucchini, everything works. So I'm gonna kind of medium to high heat here. We're just gonna throw this around in the pan, let it go for about 3 or 4 minutes, I would say. Okay, this is coming on really nicely. Now I'm just going to add my final 2 ingredients, which is our bell peppers, capsicums or sweet peppers. Many different names for these guys. And again, I've got 3 colours in there. Gives it, just like I say, gives it a nice bit of colour as well, but also very tasty. Now I'm going to use some chickpeas. You could use some lentils, you could use black-eyed peas, you could use kidney beans, pinto beans, cannellini beans, I mean anything you like, or just go for veg if you want. I like a nice pulse in there, a nice bean, I like that. Now what I'm going to add now is here, I've got here, optional, I've got a little bit of smoked paprika. That's going to give it a really lovely flavour. If you can't get hold of the smoked paprika, you could also try maybe, there's a sweet paprika, or maybe a little bit of cayenne pepper, a little bit of kick if you want. But this smoked paprika is going to give it a really beautiful little flavour. So that's all my veggies in there. Again, 3 to 4 minutes, going to let that go on this medium to high heat. Give it a stir every now and then. Okay, so I'm ready now to add my tomatoes. Here I've got a can or a tin of plum tomatoes, which I'm going to drop in there and mix in. If you wanted, you could add some fresh tomatoes to this now, or some passata or tomato paste or puree. I'm going just like this. I'm going to turn the heat down now, not to a simmer, just above a simmer. I'm going to let that go for about 7 minutes. And there we go. Okay, off goes that heat. There we've got our filling, which we're going to put our potato on. But if you don't want to do that, you've got a lovely little stew there. I mean, you can just go ahead and eat it up with some bread or with some rice or something. That's really great. So what we're going to do now is set that aside, get our tray. I'm going to use a glass one today. You could use ceramic or metal. We're going to lay that in the bottom. We're going to get our potato on the top. It's going to go in the oven. It's that simple. Okay then, so we're going to need an oven-proof dish. Like I said, I'm going to use a glass one today. You could use metal or you could use a ceramic. I've put a layer of about a centimetre, 2 centimetres of our sauce in there, and we're simply just now going to get some of our sweet corn parsley potato on the top. We're just going to spoon that out. Now what you want to do now is get your oven on full blast, as high as you can. Everything here is already cooked, so we're just bringing this together, Just a little tad more. Okay, and then I'm just going to press this down with a fork, and with the fork kind of create those little peaks and troughs, just like that. And again, because we're going vegan on this one, I'm not adding any cheese to this as well. I mean, normally you'd chuck a little bit of cheese on there to brown it off. We're not going to do that. So these little peaks and troughs that we're doing with our fork are hopefully going to get nice and brown in the oven. That's going to go in my oven, full blast, full maximum heat for about 10 to 15 minutes. All ovens are different, but you know what we're looking for. We're just looking to kind of brown that off as much as we can. There we go. That was in my oven for about 20 minutes. I think it looks great. That's going to taste really beautiful. Hope you enjoyed that. Had a few emails about this type of dish. So yeah, hope it's helped you out. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We'll see you soon. Lots of love.